They have it in the middle of the park, and right-footed, the ball is shifted out to this near touchline. Willian is closed down immediately by Gallardo, but he's just skipped inside him and he evades a second challenge from Guardado. And Guardado then can win that ball back just outside the edge of the penalty area, rather fortuitously. And Salzado with a fairly hurried clearance up to Hernandez on halfway. And they have the ball back and down the line. And now Hernandez can chase. Miranda has to come across to try and block him off. Hernandez with ball at feet inside the penalty area. Javier Hernandez still going. But the all-time leading goal scorer for Mexico is stopped in his tracks. But he does manage to offload the ball. And Marquez then gets it out to the right-hand side, where he tries to find out Alvarez, and it's in touch for a throw to Mexico on the right.
Oh my word, there's no way they can keep this sort of pace up, Adam. It's unbelievable. The first 10 minutes has been crazy, 100 miles an hour.
The sun is shining, it's 33 degrees in Sudansk. So I think they'll find it very hard to keep this up, and the ball's just run out of play that time by Hector Herrera on the far side, and it's going to be a throw-in for Brazil. A reminder that later this evening, of course, they are playing for a place in the quarter-finals where they'll meet either Belgium or Japan. That game is in Rostov, and we will have full live commentary for you. Ian Danter and Matt Holland alongside Adrian Durham for that. That match kicks off at 7 o'clock tonight, and then of course tomorrow the last two of the round of 16 ties. Sweden against Switzerland at this time tomorrow, and then tomorrow evening live here on TalkSport it's Colombia against England. We'll have all the build-up for you as well. Out wide on this left-hand side, Gallardo again has it. Brazil just pressing Mexico back inside their own penalty area. Guillermo Ochoa done rather well since he joined Standard Liège, helped them lift the Belgian Cup and finish second in the league. Was unused at the 2006 and 2010 World Cup. Well, that's a lovely ball into the penalty area for Mexico. Hector Herrera can't control it. Comes out on the right-hand side though, and then is lifted back in and blocked out by Felipe Luis. And that's going to be on that right-hand side, another corner for Mexico.
Well, Brazil have had a shot. Neymar, forcing a save. But I think Mexico have had the better possession and certainly had more penetrations to their play. They've got down the flanks a lot better than Brazil have done against them.
Corner on the right to be delivered by the left boot. Hernandez is lurking inside the penalty area. Big boys are up. It's Guardado's ball in. He was looking for the flick from Marquez at the near post. Couldn't find him. It's headed away. Only as far there was Lozano, who chips one in. Finds Hernandez on the left edge of the penalty area. He nods it across the face of goal. It's away by Thiago Silva. Breaks at the edge of the penalty area, but not kindly on that occasion for Alvarez, who does pick it up again, but he's closed down immediately by two Brazilian shirts midway inside Brazil's half. And just for a moment, Brazil will just take the tempo out of the game after 13 minutes, because it's been fairly helter-skelter so far. 13 and a half minutes on the clock on TalkSport, and it's Brazil 0, Mexico 0. Just a moment where the frantic end-to-end play stops as Brazil look to bring it out from the back and play a little bit more at their tempo, as Neymar just tries to roll and cut inside Irving Lozano on halfway, but can't quite manage it. And it's picked up in the middle of the park once more by Guardado. Gets it back to Salcedo, who comes forward down this left-hand side. On his right foot, he finds Gallardo on this near touchline. Carlos Vela, the former Arsenal and West Brom man, tries to turn, but fails as Paulinho dispossesses him, and then Paulinho himself can just win his team a throw by stabbing the ball off the feet once more of Herrera on this near side.
Well, they haven't been able to get the ball into Jesus, have they? He's up there, number 9 at the moment. It's mainly Mexico who's have better possession and got more service into their front. At the moment, Brazil are struggling to find any real penetration to their play.
Delightful ball out wide to Lozano, who's inside Felipe Luis in the box. He gets it across towards Hernandez, who can't quite reach it. A yard or so in front of Javier Hernandez. The ball from Lozano, and it dribbles out on this near side right by the corner flag. But once more, Mexico just opening up the flank to this Brazilian side.
Well, if there's a one-on-one situation where you feel they've got an advantage, that might be what it is. Certainly Luis at left back, and the real pace, because Lozano is direct. He wants to get at you, he wants the ball in behind you, and that could be a problem down Brazil's left. It's whether or not they can get the service to him. It's a great first touch that, and he whipped the ball across. But certainly somebody that is going to give Luis a difficult afternoon, it looks like.
Lozano was terrific for PSV last season. 19 goals in Holland for him. Got 4 in the qualifying campaign for this World Cup as well. He was the leading scorer for Mexico in that competition. Bright start here from him as well. Quarter of an hour played on TalkSport, your home of the World Cup. It's Brazil 0, Mexico 0. Poor control by Willian. Carlos Vela picks up the loose ball and then shrugs off the challenge of Willian. Willian back at him again for a second time. And I think if Vela had gone down the first time, he may well have got a foul, but no point in remonstrating for it when you've just lost possession and you've lost the advantage. And that ball to Neymar is over the top of his head and out of play for a throw-in on the right-hand side for Mexico.
Just think about the left back for Brazil, Luis, who's got his hands full, hasn't he, with Lozano, who's probably the quickest player in the Mexican side. But it's not as if he can get hold of Neymar and say, come and sit in front of me for 10 minutes, because Neymar, I think I know what the reply will be.
Well, the mind boggles if Marcelo was playing there as well, because Felipe Luis is the slightly more defensive of the 2 left-back options in this Brazilian side. Crunching tackle there from Salcedo on Jesus. Down the right-hand side is Willian. Tries to get the crossover, and Salcedo's there to block it out again at the edge of the box, and it's a corner for Brazil on the right.
How quick is that 16 minutes gone? It's flown by, you know, because the game is interesting. The tempo's quick. The actual aggression with which the game is being played, and the skill as well. It's got, you know, it's got a lot of stuff going for it, and hopefully, I mean, the first goal is going to be important. If Mexico were to get the first goal, it can only help them, obviously, and they've started off really brightly.
Well, it's like you mentioned against Sweden, they just didn't look like they could come back in the game, so that goal could be crucial here. Willian is going to take this corner. The referee is busy sorting out some of the grappling and moving in and around that penalty area, but Willian will deliver. Hector Herrera is short to try and put him off. He does get the ball over though, and it's well headed away from inside the penalty area by Rafael Marquez. And they're now inside the centre circle. They push it onto Vela once more down this left-hand side for Mexico. Acres of space on the right-hand side if he can find him, and he does. Lozano inside the penalty area, taking on Felipe Luis again onto his left foot. Tries the shot, and it's blocked by Felipe Luis. And on that far side again, they'll win possession back with Guardado, but he just runs the ball into touch, and it will be a throw-in again for Brazil, level with the edge of their own penalty area.
They're on a mission at the moment, Mexico, you know, to make it as uncomfortable as possible for this Brazilian back line. And certainly Luis, he defended that one really well when the ball came to Lozano, but Vela on this left-hand side, he looks up for the game. You know, he's getting the ball. His first touch has been brilliant. He gets it out of his feet. He's whipped 2 or 3 balls across the face of goal, and we're only in the first 18 minutes.
Alvin, it might be me, but they're throwing the throw-in inside their own penalty area, passing the ball around with Mexico fully pressed on them, and now Mexico have got the throw on the far side. Not sure that's the wisest of tactics at this moment in time. He's fouled at the edge of the box, Lozano. The referee says no foul. And then there is a foul in the middle of the park from Marquez, but in the meantime Casemiro brings the ball away, and he almost slipped the perfect pass through to Gabriel Jesus, but Salcedo again was there to intervene and to get it away for Mexico. And up as far as Carlos Vela, this time he is fouled by Wagner on this near side, and that's going to be a free kick to Mexico. And this game is only 18.5 minutes old, but wow, end-to-end stuff.
Well, it's 0-0. You know, we haven't had any goals. We've had one save from the keeper, apart from that. But you know what? I've found it thoroughly entertaining. You know, this is the way the game should be played, with tenacity, with skill, with passion. It's fantastic.
All a quest for a 5th game for Mexico, and well, we saw in the warm-up there were some very aggressive faces in their team huddle. Alvin's mentioned as well the way they sang their hearts out during that national anthem. There is absolutely no doubt they are bang up for this game against the side ranked number 2 in the world, and now clear favourites to win this World Cup, Brazil. On that far side, it's Herrera again, who just does well to keep possession. Marquez wants it in the middle of the park, but Mexico have pressed up quite high here. They've got 3 players of their own inside their own half. That becomes 2 as Salcedo just advances into Brazilian territory. Out wide on the left-hand side, Willian is nutmegged that time by Gallardo, but nothing comes from it, and Brazil pick up possession deep inside their own half. Poor bit of control from Philippe Coutinho, you don't say that too often. Here's Casemiro with it, and he chips it out wide to the left-hand side. Felipe Luis up to halfway for Brazil. He's closed down immediately by Alvarez. It's back infield to Casemiro, and now Coutinho, who's been so impressive during this World Cup so far. 2 goals to his name already, of course, the former Liverpool man who really found his feet at Barcelona towards the end of the season. Felipe Luis's ball is into Jesus inside the penalty area. Jesus will just give it back to Neymar at the edge of the box, who holds the ball up under pressure from Hector Herrera, and then he's dispossessed in the end by Rafael Marquez. And now Mexico look to counter once more down this left-hand side. Vela is there waiting for it. Guardado has the ball at feet. Hernandez is out to the right-hand side, but in the end he just checks his run, gives it back to Marquez, who will then allow Alvarez to join in on that right-hand touchline. And Mexico are happy to keep the ball with Ayala and Salcedo. We've had 20 minutes on TalkSport. It's 0-0. Out wide on the left-hand side is Vela again. Closed down by Willian. And they just give it back again to Gallardo. And it's keep ball from the Mexicans right now.
But you know, it's a perfect example, this, of a team in Mexico obviously showing respect to Brazil, but not over-respecting them.
Lovely ball out wide to Carlos Vela, who cuts inside the penalty area on his right foot, tees it up at the edge of the box. Herrera takes a touch onto his left foot, and the shot is blocked that time by Casemiro inside the penalty area. Looked like everything had just opened up there for Hector Herrera, but the touch onto the left foot just allowed the Brazilians time to close him down.
He got crowded out really quickly. It was Miranda, I think, who came in and just stopped him pulling the trigger. He went to ground, and in the end he tried to actually get past there. Silva as well, Thiago Silva. I think he wanted to get it on his right foot, wasn't allowed to do that because Miranda comes sliding in. But look, most of their football has been played in the areas that you want it played, Mexico, and it's really Brazil who is struggling to get the ball into the potential match winners like Coutinho, Neymar, Willian. You know, it's all been Mexico down this left-hand side and the right-hand side. The flanks are there really strong where they've got lots of pace.
16th World Cup finals for Mexico, their 7th in a row. Only Brazil, Germany, Italy and Argentina have appeared in more finals, and today is actually their 57th World Cup game, more than any other side who've never won the tournament. For them, objective one is to just get to that 5th game and beyond the round of 16, because they've failed on their last 6 attempts. Yep, the last 6, every single one of them a defeat when they've got to this stage of the competition.
I tell you what, I think they don't look like a team, do they, Mexico, who've got a psychological problem. I think they've had a psychologist in actually working with them, but I tell you what, if they carry on like this, he's going to be worth his weight in gold. His reputation is going to be going through the roof.
The coach very much believes about the mental approach to the game as well. Osorio has spent some time up in Liverpool, of course, where he studied football. He was Kevin Keegan's conditioning coach at Manchester City as well. I'm not sure he's dubbed himself this, or whether he's been called it by the press in Mexico as a bit of a soccer philosopher, as they like to call him. On this near side, Mexico have it again on halfway. Brazil just struggling to get out of their own half at the moment. Into the centre it goes with Guardado, who finds Ayala. We are beyond the midway point of a hectic first half on TalkSport, and it's 0-0 right now. And that ball spins away to our left-hand side and out of play. And Alisson will have the goal kick for Brazil and a chance to clear his line. A man who, of course, we could be seeing in the Premier League next season if rumours are to be believed. Chelsea and Liverpool amongst those chasing the Brazilian keeper.
Well, after 23 minutes, I think it's Brazil who'll be happy to see a scoreline of 0-0, because Mexico have had more intent, more initiative in the areas that matter. It's Brazil at the moment who are just thinking, we've got to settle this down. This isn't what we expected. I'm sure they wouldn't have expected Mexico to come at them, because it's like a team just going for the jugular. They're so ruthless in many ways, Mexico.
Well, there's pace, they're incisive. So they seem to have a game plan here. Ochoa will launch it forward up towards halfway. That's not been how they've done it to date. And Felipe Luis wins a decent header down. Neymar picks it up on the left-hand side. He's on a run now towards the edge of the penalty area. Up against Alvarez. Neymar still going here. Neymar with the effort on goal. And Ochoa has to come out and make the save from a tight angle. Felipe Luis still has it down the left-hand side towards the byline in the box. Jesus will nod it back across the face of goal. There's Paulinho inside the penalty area. Finds Willian. Now out wide again. Gabriel Jesus with a cross, and it's headed clear. This time by Alvarez from the edge of the 6-yard area.
Oh, what a game, what a game. And now we're seeing Brazil coming back. As soon as he got the ball one-on-one there, Neymar, he just went past. That was the old Neymar. He's getting stronger and quicker. He just went past him. He cut inside, then checked back out, and he always got that awareness, hasn't he? Really, in the end, it's a good save. He comes out really quickly. He had nothing to shoot at Neymar.
So stop with a hand of Ochoa as well. His left hand was just down by his side, and the effort from Neymar with his right foot was looking to bend it into the far corner. Don't think it would have been too far away, although there were two Mexicans back on the goal line as well. That foul on Coutinho, though, has just given everyone a chance to take a breath as Brazil line up this free kick.
This is the problem with Brazil. You know, you do really well, as they have done against you, for 25 minutes, but then you've got individuals that can turn the game in one moment.
25, almost 26 minutes on the clock. 0-0. Neymar with a free kick here, off the angle of the box. It's delivered in and flicked on by Thiago Silva, and Ochoa clears it. Gabriel Jesus with the effort. Oh, he spewed it wide, or it was going wide, and it has to be cleared in the end by Ayala. And it comes out to the Man City striker again on this right-hand side. Gets to the byline, lifts it across towards the back post. No one's there apart from Neymar, who takes it down. He'll now take on Ayala. He'll tee it up for Coutinho with the effort, and it's over the top of the bar.
Oh, it's like somebody just flicked the switch and said, come on, let's play now, Brazil. Are you in this game or not? Well, if they're hanging on now, they are hanging on big time, Mexico, and it's the yellow shirts all over the pitch now that look dangerous, isn't it? The last 3 or 4 minutes, Neymar looks up for it, Coutinho's getting on the ball, and credit to them, they look a little bit, Mexico's keeping it 0-0.
19 minutes remaining of a pulsating first half on TalkSport. It's Brazil 0, Mexico 0. And they have possession deep inside their own half. Forward down this left-hand side comes Gallardo, looking to try and find the advancing run that was being made by Carlos Vela, who's playing out wide on this left-hand side for Mexico. Vela, who's gone off to Los Angeles to play his football, having left in the January transfer window. Real Sociedad, having spent a few years in La Liga. Most well known, though, from his time at Arsenal to us anyway. And we spent some time at West Bromwich Albion on loan as well, but he's missed out on the 2014 World Cup, but back in favour, and back in this Mexican side and making a difference. They have possession, and they find Vela out here wide on the left-hand side. Level with the edge of his own penalty area. Just flicks that ball over the top into the box. Comes back to Vela at the edge of the penalty area, who tries to turn, but he's dispossessed by Paulinho, who's strong in the middle of the park. A couple of deflections on Paulinho's through ball fall nicely for Mexico. And Salcedo, who was backtracking at high speed, has the time to lay the ball back inside his own penalty area. And Mexico will be able to clear with Guillermo Ochoa away to our right-hand side.
Still can't believe the pace of the game, Adam. They've sustained this for just coming up to half an hour now, but I think we might see this. It'll to and fro the game. I think Mexico had a really great start, and now it's Brazil who are taking the game to Mexico, and Mexico are hanging on. And it's Neymar, edge of the penalty area on the left-hand side, just trying to push the ball off with the outside of his right boot to Coutinho, but it was 2 or 3 yards behind him, and an opportunity for Mexico to bring it clear. And here is Marquez, just trying to hold that midfield for Mexico, the 39-year-old, just between the two centre halves. And just for a moment, Mexico take a little breather in possession, because they all are breathing very heavily out there 29 minutes into this game, and it's no surprise. See, the good teams, you know, club football or international football, they go through a spell where the opposition look like they've got the better of them. They hang in there and they come again. You know, and that's what Brazil have done. They've hung in there and they're coming again. Here's Javier Hernandez, edge of the penalty area to Carlos Vela, left hand edge of the box, drives a shot with his left foot, well wide of the target of Alisson's goal, away to our left hand side. Never troubling the keeper on that left foot of his. Really hit through it, but never anywhere near the goal. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing there, Vela. You know, he's had a really bright game up to now, first half an hour, and down this left hand side his first touch has been brilliant, his awareness has been great, but he took on a shot that wasn't on there. Fourth appearance of this World Cup for Carlos Vela. Lovely bit of play by Gallardo again, who's got the better of Willian on this near side, but then Paulinho is the extra insurance there, who picks the ball up for Brazil. Wagner gets it across towards the edge of the box. Oh, it's gone beyond the defender and into the chest that time on that left-hand side of Neymar, going towards the byline. Wonderful tackle by Edson Alvarez to win the ball back for Mexico. That is brilliant defending. That is brilliant defending. One-on-one inside the penalty box with Neymar with the ball at his feet. You do not want to be faced with that. and really does brilliantly. Stays up, times his tackle to perfection, and then comes up with the ball. Alvarez, fantastic.
He's been likened to Franz Beckenbauer. Everyone says they've got a Franz Beckenbauer and a Lionel Messi, of course, but Edson Alvarez is the man that's earmarked to be the next Rafael Marquez. Made his debut in 2017. Usually plays as a centre-back or a central defensive midfielder, but being asked to do the job at right-back today on Neymar. And half an hour in, really encouraging signs, and he's put a decent ball over the top here. The chase is on. Alisson's going to just get there first and shepherd it out of play, but I think the idea was good from Mexico. They're definitely looking to try and target those flanks of Brazil.
Well, I think, you know, the problem that Mexico have in the tournament so far is when people sit back against them, you know, and there's no space in behind. Brazil are always inclined to want to take the game to you, so it does leave, you know, the space. If they're pushed up on the halfway line, down each flank, and they're made for that. That's where they are strongest, so it suits them, you know. But I still didn't. You still don't know which way it's going to go, because even when they go forward and it breaks down, Brazil is so great at counter-attacking as well. We've got probably two of the best counter-attacking sides in the competition.
I think in our hearts of hearts, before we arrived today, this is kind of what we were hoping for.
Yeah.
Both having a go, end-to-end stuff, and here come Brazil again. Paulinho through the centre circle. Willian's got space on the right-hand side. Gabriel Jesus is inside the penalty area. Willian towards the byline, but again, maybe one touch too many, and the cross is blocked out by Gallardo on this near side, and in the end, it's run into play, or out of play by Salcedo, and it will be a throw-in for Brazil, midway inside the Mexican half. Willian with his tongue out. I think he's just been winded, but certainly feeling the pace of this game. 32 minutes on the clock, 0-0 on Talk Sport, your World Cup station. Wall-to-wall World Cup coming up later tonight. Belgium against Japan. It kicks off at 7 o'clock. And of course the winner of that will face the winner of this in Kazan on the 6th of July. Not too much recovery time, just 4 days between fixtures as we reach the quarter-final stage of this magnificent World Cup. Lovely little turn that time by Jesus, finds Coutinho in the box on his right foot. Jesus at the edge of the penalty area, skips past the first challenge, gets to a decent angle, a try with a block. Coutinho across the face of goal, but no one's there to try and turn it home, and Mexico can bring it clear.
Oh, what wonderful movement and football and technique and excitement. Oh, brilliant by Brazil.
Guardado on the far side has done well as he's run the ball out of play, and it will be a throw to Brazil midway inside the Mexican half on that far side.
All ended with a shot, didn't it? Went straight at the keeper, but it was the build-up play there, and over was played in with real zip, and then you've got people who could want to take people for defenders on the very hard to contain it.
Willian will deliver the corner from this right-hand side. We are still goalless, 34 minutes in to this pulsating game of football. Last 16 tie in Samara. Here's Willian to deliver for Brazil. From the right to the edge of the 6-yard box. It's flicked on that time by Jesus. And on that far side, Felipe Luis tries to pick the ball up. Marquez has to slide in with a challenge because Felipe Luis did well, but what a terrific challenge it was from Rafael Marquez. And then there's going to be a free kick for the foul, I think, on Guardado by Miranda on that far side. If not, it's just going to be a throw to Mexico.
Again, you know, I'm looking at Mexico now and thinking, right, okay, what are you going to do now? Because you asked a lot of questions of Brazil. They came up with the answers, they stood firm, and they've come again, and that's exactly what Mexico are going to do now.
5th World Cup meeting between these two sides. In the previous 4, Mexico have yet to score a goal, and well, that's soon to become 4.5, because despite playing their part in the opening 35 minutes here, they've yet to really test Alisson. Some decent defending from Brazil whenever Mexico have got close to the edge of the penalty area. Ochoa has definitely been the busier of the two goalkeepers. There's a foul there that time by Wagner, and just on the yellow card count, by the way, Casemiro, Philippe Coutinho and Neymar are the 3 players who potentially could face missing a quarter-final if they pick up a yellow card today. Gallardo, Herrera are the two in the starting 11 for Mexico, who are walking a similar tightrope.
To be fair, in this tournament as well, Adam, at least now you have got to earn a yellow card. You know, they're not dished out, are they, like confetti at previous tournaments. You normally, if you've been given a yellow card, you've deserved it, because they've been lenient all the way through.
It's been a sea of yellow going forward for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Mexico at the moment just struggling to get out of their own half. Felipe Luis on that far side to Coutinho. Good challenge in once more on that right hand side by Guardado. Very interchangeable, the three in central midfield for Mexico. Guardado at the moment is on the right hand side, Marquez in the centre and Herrera on the left, and Marquez with a fairly needless foul there, just a shove in the back, and that's going to be another free kick for Brazil midway inside their own half.
I wonder who's going to get the first goal. I can't believe there's not going to be a goal. You know, the way both teams are playing, they're playing to score goals. And if Mexico got it, obviously, what would it do to Brazil and vice versa? You know, I don't think it's going to change the game. I think both teams are still going to go for it.
Well, it was the best 0-0 I've seen for a while, let's put it that way. Willian is fouled on this near side. Brazil look to take the free kick quickly, but the ball is in the hands of Javier Hernandez, and a final telling to for Gallardo to just say no more of that, and he is, as I mentioned, one of those who would miss any potential quarter-final if he was booked today. 7.5 minutes remaining in this first half on TalkSport. Brazil 0, Mexico 0 at the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Game number 5 in the round of 16. Here is Philippe Coutinho on a run towards the edge of the penalty area. Philippe Coutinho tries the shot, but it's all along the ground and is just blocked to the edge of the penalty area, where Marquez gets up and wins the header, and then Neymar is absolutely speared on that far side, this time by Alvarez. That's going to be the first yellow card of the game. Neymar flattened by Alvarez, and a free kick to Brazil in a dangerous position to the left of centre and about 25-30 yards from goal.
Well, Alvarez is right in front of the referee, can't be any closer, but it's brilliant skill by Neymar. It's because his touch is so great, he's so quick in actually getting the ball flicked around the corner. Alvarez has got no chance of being anywhere near as quick as that, and got a little bit of sympathy with him there, but he had to get it out right in front of the referee.
So the free kick for Brazil. Neymar receiving some treatment. His left knee that he thought was an issue, but he's good. Felipe Luis is over this. He's about 30 yards out from goal, and in fact the wall is being set right at the edge of the D, and it is to the left, probably midway between the edge of the penalty area and the left edge of the D. Felipe Luis is stood there, but I'm fairly sure there's only one man that's going to hit this.
Yeah. Is it 2 yards too far away? I would suggest it is 2 yards. If that was another 2 yards, I would have said, could be a problem.
Miranda and Willian are lurking around the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Neymar is over the top of it. Felipe Luis just runs over the top, and Neymar is going for goal, and it's just wide of the right-hand post of Guillermo Ochoa.
Well, he got the power on it, and he got it up and over. I do feel if he'd got it on target that the keeper would have had it covered. It's just that 2 yards that I was talking about, you know, gives the keeper that little bit more time to move his feet and get over there. But Neymar is probably looking as sharp as I've seen him look all the way through. And we were talking about that when he's had to get match fit during the tournament.
Well, when you think he missed, obviously, from when the Champions League tie came round, I mean, that's a fair chunk at the end of the season to miss. Yet he still scored 28 goals for PSG in his debut season. The impact he was having as they romped to that Ligue 1 title. 5 minutes remaining of the first area. Out round the back edge of the box is Willian, and he's going to pick up this loose ball after it's clipped over the head of Gabriel Jesus, who was in the box. Willian looking to take on Gallardo, gets it across the 6-yard area, and that's good goalkeeping by Guillermo Ochoa, who had to go down low and took that under some pressure.
Well, all of the Brazilian forwards now are all enjoying themselves, aren't they? Willian has been involved in a lot down this right-hand side. Coutinho's getting on the ball. Neymar's looking as sharp as we've seen him look, and that's not good news for Mexico. If that carries on, there's only one team going to score.
Well, Willian's just gone down there, and if that wasn't a foul, then the referee should have booked him for a dive, because he tried to get Gallardo booked. edge of the penalty area. Here's Neymar again, trying to slip in Wagner on this near side, but it's really good defending at the back once more by Gallardo, and it's out for a throw on this near side for Brazil.
They sense blood, Brazil. You can see they want to get the ball in play very quickly. Neymar's saying, come on, let's keep going, let's keep going. 41 minutes gone. Can we score before half-time? They're really up for this.
I like that. Gianluca Rocci, the Italian referee, has just had a word with Willian and said, listen, I clocked that, don't do it again. Here down the right-hand side is Wagner again, and he tries to get the crossing.
About to get in at 0-0 now. They've give a good account of themselves in the first 20 minutes, but the last 20 minutes has been all Brazil. Silky, smooth, beautiful football, but still no goals to show for it.
Corner again on the right for Willian to deliver. Coutinho is there, offering the short option. Dano looks up to the right-hand side, gets it to Carlos Vela, who's just do it by Felipe Luis. It's a yellow card for the Brazilian fullback.
I don't think he would have made the challenge, but because it was a poor ball to before I can nick that, and Vela was just a little bit too quick for him.
Just got there first, Vela. 71st international cap for him. 19 goals as well in his international career. But now a chance from a set piece for Mexico to cause some problems for Brazil. Final 2.5 minutes of the first half on Talk Sport, where it's Brazil 0, Mexico 0 in Samara. The noise has been relentless, as has the pace of the football as well.
They will suck in the hearing. This is respite for Mexico.
But we await the first breakthrough. That's clipped into the box, so it's too close to Alisson. And the run that was being made by Ayala in the end was fairly pointless. And Alisson immediately looking to clear first time up to the other end. Couple of bounces. Oh, Ochoa's at the edge of his box and has to volley it under pressure from Neymar. And he does it effectively. And Mexico now with a chance to bring it clear. Left-footed ball swung out to this left-hand touchline where it's taken down by Lozano again. Gives it back to Gallardo. And deep inside their own half, Salcedo will turn and push it out to the right-hand side. Such is the dominance of Brazil at this stage. In the last 6 ties they've been victorious in when it's come to the round of 16. Wonderful form, wonderful pedigree, wonderful heritage, but as we've already seen for the likes of Germany, Argentina and Portugal, it counts for nothing on the day in these round of 16 ties. Javier Hernandez from deep inside his own half has chipped a ball forward there. Furthest player forward was Hector Herrera, who's won the ball back here. Out wide on the left-hand side is Lozano. Tries to cut in onto his right. Lozano still going. Edge of the penalty area. He's by the D. Really good last-ditch tackle from Casemiro. It's lifted out by Marquez by opening his right boot and then feeding it to that far touchline, but too much on it and no time really for Guardado to chase it down, and it's a throw to Brazil on the far side.
They've always got a chance, Mexico, because of the way they play. They believe in their front players, and they'll continue to knock balls in behind the fullback and in behind the centre halves and expect people with their pace to get on it. So, you know, Brazil, as well as they've played in the last sort of 15-20 minutes, you know, they're going to need a couple of goals cushion, because I think Mexico always look like they've got a goal in them.
They have possession again, Mexico at the edge of the centre circle. We're about to get the board from the fourth official to tell us how many minutes of added time there will be. If there'll be any at all in this game, we are almost at the 45-minute mark, and there will be none. Gianluca Rocci, the Italian referee, says that's it for the end of the first half. A 45 minutes where Mexico came out the traps early doors, causing all sorts of problems for Brazil. But as the half wore on, it was the 5 times world champions who looked the better side. Ochoa the busier of the two keepers, but in a pulsating 45 minutes, somehow at half-time in Samara, it's Brazil 0, Mexico 0.
Thank you very much indeed. More from Alvin Martin in just a second. Let me just remind you that World Cup Live, after we brought you this game between Brazil and Mexico, we'll have the other game from today's round of 16 as well, when Adrian Durham will bring you a live commentary by Ian Danter and Matt Holland, the game between Belgium and Japan in Rostov. And then tomorrow, of course, Switzerland against Sweden is a 3 o'clock kickoff. Join me at 1 as we start the build-up to that game, and that itself is the appetizer, I might be so bold, for England's game in the round of 16, where they take on Colombia for a place in the quarter-finals. Right, let's get some half-time thoughts then with the co-op.
Half-time on TalkSport with the Co-op. Grab all you need for the match with the Co-op's 3 for 2 on summer sharers. Football's better together at the Co-op.
And Alvin Martin, the reason why the referee didn't have to add on 1 second of added on time is because the ball's hardly been off the pitch as both sides have gone for it hell for leather. What a half!
Well, I feel tired myself watching them. I can't believe that. Look, after about 10 or 15 minutes, I said they won't be able to sustain this pace. But they have. You know, both sets of players have gone for it. It's like two boxers slugging it out, Danny, and it's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful 45 minutes.
And I think it's fair to say half of two halves. Mexico setting their stall out, Brazil in the second half of that first half.
Yeah, and I think what it has showed is that these two teams are totally together. You can't question the spirit within them. From the ball, maybe could have done quickest inventive football I've seen so far. I think we've seen a great game between Spain and Portugal early on in the competition. But this one, in terms of quality and passing, certainly by Brazil, for the last 15 minutes has been exquisite.
Absolutely. We'll return to Brazil in a second. But in that early, let's say, from the fit, nip and tuck for the first 10 or so minutes. Then Mexico had 15 minutes where they really pinned Brazil back. I mean, Carlos Vela playing on wide rather than as a striker is unrecognisable from the player we remember at Arsenal. Yeah, and that's where they've had the real threat. You know, Hernandez has played up the middle. Lozano started on at the right and maybe come over to the left. But they just want to get at people, Danny. You know, when they get the ball, because Brazil do commit people forward, when these two wide players are getting the ball, they've got 15 yards of space to run into. And, you know, that's difficult for any defender, especially when you're not being able to double up on them. So, you know, there's goals in the game, absolutely goals in the game. And the first one, obviously, will be a big goal. But you do sense that both these sides are full of spirit, and one goal is not going to put them back under the heels. They're just going to continue what they're doing now. And if they do, we're in for another great 45 minutes. And you made the very salient point, I thought, in the build-up to the game, that Neymar is doing something quite difficult. He's trying to play himself back into full match fitness in a tournament. And he was quiet for the first 30 minutes. And then my notes say after about 26 minutes into the game, he finally got himself one-on-one with the right back of Mexico, Alvarez. And he went past him like he didn't exist. And you could see the Brazilian players flooding in the penalty area because they expect him to beat his man. He makes it look so easy, Danny. And when the really brilliant players of whatever generation have got something special, that's what they do. They look like they're gliding past people, and these are really top defenders. We've seen Alvarez make one great tackle on Neymar inside the penalty area, but when he did go past him, it was like he was gone, and then once he does get past you, he's going to pick the right ball out if it's on for him, or he's going to have a shot. And he's had a couple of shots, and I've got to say Ochoa has come out to narrow the angle on a couple of occasions, being by far the busier goalkeeper. And that's where Brazil have got a real edge, Danny. They've got individuals that when it gets into the final third are clinical and of a higher calibre than Mexico. Mexico have opened up areas, but you wonder if they're good, as good a finishers as the Brazilians are going to be. Well, listen, Alvin, I'll give you a few minutes now to actually catch your breath, because I know it's been an extraordinarily high-paced first half for Adam and Alvin to describe to you. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. That was our look back on the first half with the Co-op. Football is better together at the Co-op.
Half-time on TalkSport with the Co-op. Snacks for the football and refreshments all round. Result: football's better together at the Co-op.
Yeah, sometimes when there's been no goals in the first half of the game, we struggle to put together what we laughingly do refer to as a highlights package. Not today.
The light football out wide to Lozano, who's inside Felipe Luis in the box. He gets it across towards Hernandez, who can't quite reach it. A yard or so in front of Javier Hernandez, and it dribbles out on this near side right by the corner.
Tournament football can be unpredictable. So for all World Cup matches, back a team to win, and if they go 2 goals up at any point, Paddy Power will pay out as a winner immediately, whatever happens next. A wonder goal from a teenager. A random headbutt from a Frenchman. A hungry Uruguayan. Whatever. Go 2 up and nothing gets in the way of your winnings. Paddy Power. Enough of the nonsense. Applies to pre-match win, draw, win singles only. Not available in shops. T's and C's apply. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
E-receptionist's word of the day. FOMOB. Noun. Pronounced FOMOB. Fear of missing out on business.
I won't be able to answer my phone when I go into that meeting. What if a client calls? What if a new client calls? And it's a new contract? And I missed the call?
Adam has FOMOB. Fortunately, E-receptionist manages and diverts all your calls, meaning you never miss an important opportunity. Sign up for a free 30-day trial now at ereceptionist.co.uk. Fight the FOMOB with E-receptionist. T's and C's apply. Free trial cancellation required to avoid charges.
Check their reputation. Check their insurance. Check their background. Check how much time you're wasting on all of this when you could be watching the football instead. Or just go to checkertrade.com and do it all in one. Exactly. When you need someone to do a job around your home, checkertrade.com should be the first place you go. Visit checkertrade.com, where reputation matters.
Checkertrade! Checkertrade.com.
The World Cup. The biggest stage for upsets, passion and opportunity. Your gut says to take advantage of every game, and your smarts say where to go. Because Betfair have had the best odds on the World Cup, so you always get the most from your bet. Betfair, where gut instinct meets smarts.
Data provided by TX Odds and BetRadar, based on Betfair Sportsbook average match odds over round since 12th of March 2018. Full terms at betfair.com, 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Expect to build your own car deal online, anytime, at arnoldclark.com. Expect over 200 branches nationwide. Expect to choose from over 20,000 cars. And expect the UK's best used car deals, guaranteed.
Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing.
Expect the Arnold Clark experience. Visit arnoldclark.com.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of trade quality building products. In July, we've got 20% off Selco trade price kitchens when you buy 6 or more units. Now that's a real deal. We've got even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse. For more information, see selcobw.com.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
If you're going on a road trip this summer, even if it's not as far as Russia, then stop off at QuickFit first. Our team will make sure your car's on top form with free checks on your tyres and brakes. We've got over 600 centres across the UK and most of them are open 7 days a week. Plus right now we've got 25% off selected top brand tyres. So head down to your local QuickFit today and drive away happy. At participating centres only, terms and conditions apply.
Sponge cake, lemon cake, carrot cake, cupcakes, birthday cake, just basically cake. We love it. Whoever said you can't have your cake and eat it were just hopelessly unambitious and tragically misinformed. You can. And if you've got a smart meter, you could also save enough energy to bake 236 of them. Get your ovens on. We're having a bake-off. Save your energy for eating cake. Contact your energy supplier about getting your free smart meter.
Based on BEI's expected average annual savings of 2%, participating suppliers and eligible customers only. Savings possible by measuring energy usage and reducing wastage.
Forward comrades on DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. Every goal, every game, every day. The Motherland Calls World Cup live on TalkSport. Team England update on TalkSport with Direct Line. Get a quote from Direct Line. Search Direct Line Van.
This game is only a big game because it's the next one, and we want to be involved in bigger ones.
The header towards goal. Kane! 2-1 to England, and in stoppage Harry Kane! Captain fantastic!
You've seen in this World Cup, the favourites ain't always the favourites, you know.
It'll be a tough game, Colombia, so we have to be ready.
It's a goal and it's Mina again! His second of the World Cup! And Falcao scores his first England's path towards potential glory is now mapped out for them.
Yeah, England against Colombia, 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, live here on TalkSport. And Alvin Martin, we've been talking about Brazil's brilliant record in the last 16 of the World Cup, and Mexico's terrible record in the last 16 of the World Cup. And we'll be talking about tomorrow with England as well. But actually, I often think these things are overrated because this group of England players, by and large, hasn't had this experience. They will be as excited as they are trepidatious.
No, I agree, Danny. I think this seems to be a new mentality. Certainly, he's trying to change the mentality. Gareth Southgate, and he seems to be getting his message across to the players. I do genuinely feel that they feel they can hang in there, and they can do really well. But look, I was just saying to Adam, what would England do against the barrage and the wave of attacks that Brazil have confronted Mexico with? And that's the level that we've got to get to, as an English team. And the football in the first half, predominantly by Brazil, has been absolutely fantastic, a really high calibre.
And I guess we'll have a quick listen here. England, as I said, have struggled in the early stages of knockout tournaments, and Captain Harry Kane is hoping for an improvement.
We can talk now and talk about it, but until we get there and do the job, that's all we can do. So, yeah, our record hasn't been great over the years, and obviously we know that, the fans know that, you guys know that. So, yeah, for us it's just about trying to change that. First of all, it was qualify, which we did in a good fashion. One of the easiest fashions we've had in the World Cup in terms of pressure. So now we just got to take that into the knockout stage.
Yeah, let me tell you about tomorrow here on TalkSport. Join me at 1 o'clock for the build-up and the live commentary of the game between Switzerland and Sweden, and they would be England's opponents if they beat.
Showtime is the must-see summer blockbuster. The storm is coming. Box office open. Book tickets now. I am the storm. Mission Impossible Fallout in cinemas July 25th. Rating TBC.
Online and on DAB Digital Radio. The Social on TalkSport 2.
Second half just about to get underway in the World Cup clash between Brazil and Mexico. Goalless at the break. Later it's Belgium against Japan from Rostov. Elsewhere in today's sporting news, Jurgen Klopp says Mo Salah's new contract proves world-class players believe they can fulfil their ambitions at Liverpool. He signed a new 5-year deal. And Roger Federer is through his first-round match at Wimbledon. The defending men's champion saw off Serbia's Dusan Lajovic in straight sets on centre court. Gareth Southgate is going to be speaking this hour. As soon as he is talking, we are going to cross over to the England camp, and hopefully he's wearing a waistcoat or cardigan or something like that, because it brings me joy. Everyone's buying them. If we win the World Cup, I will wear a waistcoat maybe for the entire week. Maybe nothing else, because it's going to be a big party. Tom Rennie and David Priest with you here on The Social for another hour or so. Just before we hear from Gareth Southgate, while we wait, just wanted to bring you a few quotes from the Colombian manager, Jose Pekerman. You can read these on Nigel Adderley's Twitter feed right now.
Coutinho in the thick of everything. Everything's gone straight at the keeper, hasn't it? You know, they've hit balls and he looks like he's had one of them days.
Neymar with a corner. Shove there from Paulinho that time on Alvarez as the ball skips out of play on the far side, and it will be a throw which Paulinho will take quickly here for Brazil. Short to Willian off the angle of the penalty area on that right hand side. Willian pushing it out to Wagner back to Willian once more, and the Chelsea forward then just tries to poke a ball through to the edge of the penalty area, but it's blocked and he's forced on his heels and back down this right hand side where he picks out Thiago Silva, who's come forward, the centre half, to join in the action. He slips the ball down the inside. Wagner gets to the byline, gets it back across, and it's headed away quite cleverly this time by Salcedo, and behind for another corner to Brazil.
Adam, you know, some of the football has been brilliant in the first half, and they look like they're up for the second half. You know, they're going to carry on going at Mexico. I mean, the level of football that they've been playing has been pretty good up to now, Brazil, but it's been level 6, level 7. This has been 8, 9. It's been brilliant.
4 minutes into the second half already, 0-0 on Talk Sport. Brazil on the attack with yet another corner on the right hand side. Oh, here's a routine, because this one's into the box to Neymar, but he can't control the ball from Willian, which wasn't the best, and now a chance for Mexico to try and break out from the back. Vela finds Leun, who's played in an advanced role in the opening 3 games here, but now he's playing at right back, and he's done well here because he's given it to Gallardo. Gallardo to the edge of the box on his left foot, and he's bent one just over the top of the bar. What a run from Gallardo. The final effort could perhaps have been better, and maybe there were better options open to him.
Well, Gallardo was running with the ball. Coutinho's trying to get to him. In the end, he gives up. Coutinho, he's running away from him. Why on earth he has that shot at that moment, I don't know. Because you're right, all he's got to do is lay the ball to his left, and you know, really, Lozano's saying to him, give me the ball. You were 2-on-1. You know, that's criminal, that, because you're not going to get that many opportunities of that sort of size to be able to score the first goal in this game against Brazil.
Here's Neymar on a run, coming inside. Neymar 25 yards from goal. Neymar with the back heel. Here's Willian inside the penalty area. Burst of pace across the face of goal and in from Neymar. From a yard out, Brazil have the lead. And it's that man, Neymar, with his second goal of this World Cup. He couldn't miss. Willian's burst of pace. Neymar delivers, and while the other superstars have fallen, Ronaldo, Messi et al., Neymar comes to the fore. It's Brazil 1, Mexico 0.
A turning point in the game. Mexico have a great opportunity to maybe look at to get the first goal in this game. They turn it down, they make the wrong decision, and now they've been made to pay. And Neymar is in the thick of it. Brazil have started the second half off unbelievably quick. Neymar has a run. It looks like he's got 3 or 4 people around him. A back heel to Willian. He gets down the outside. That ball in is met by Neymar, who followed his run in. Brilliant by the Brazilian superstar.
Over the leg of Salcedo, under the arm of Ochoa. It came across the face of goal. Gabriel Jesus just couldn't quite get there, but there was no doubt Neymar could. At the back post, he started the move, he finished the move, and Brazil have the advantage in Samara. The samba party around the stadium has begun. Long way to go yet, just 6 minutes into the second half, but with the intent they've started this second period, this may well open some floodgates. Mexico need to just take a minute to cool themselves down, and they're on the counter already here. Hernandez is through the middle. Driving forward, though, is Guardado, who tries the shot, and it's well blocked at the edge of the D by Thiago Silva. Out wide, though, on that left-hand side. Here comes the run from Lozano, teeing it up to the edge of the penalty area. Vela, out wide again to Lozano, tries to get the cross in, and once more it's blocked out by Wagner. Good response from Mexico.
I can't believe how quick the game is. I can't, you know, it's 52 minutes and it's been relentless. Brazil fully deserving to be in the lead, but Mexico don't look like a side that are going to lay down.
Corner on the left-hand side for Mexico. Carlos Vela will deliver with that left foot of his. To the edge of the 6-yard box, it's away, this time by Casemiro. Back into the danger zone, all round the back here, Hector Herrera, across the face of goal! Oh, no one comes in on it. Vela's coming inside the box, to the byline, tries to cut it back, and it's out of play for what will be a corner on the left-hand side for Mexico.
Oh dear, Mexico now, a credit to them, they've reacted so positively to go and go down.
Well, the referee has got his finger to his ear here. I think Brazil were claiming it should be a goal kick. But no, it's been confirmed as a corner. Vela swings that one across, evades everybody, comes out to the edge of the box. Leyoun on the volley, takes a deflection and up into the arms of Alisson at the edge of his 6-yard box.
It's a game that you would love. You know, you wouldn't ask for your money back, would you? It's been entertaining from the get-go. It's been brilliant. Look, you know, Mexico. You know, I think many sides, you know, being faced with what they've had to face against Brazil. Brazil coming at them playing the best football by far of the tournament. A lot of sides would have gone under, but they haven't. Credit to them, they're still there. They're still fighting, and they're certainly still looking like they're believing in themselves.
And here they come, Mexico, towards the edge of the penalty area again. Lozano just trying to feed the ball through that time, but it's cut out at the edge of the penalty area, and Neymar has it again, and he takes on Alvarez. I suspect Alvarez thought it's in the back of him when he was moved from that right back position into the centre, but Neymar getting involved everywhere, as is Carlos Vela here, who does incredibly well to shield the ball and protect it with 3 yellow shirts around him inside the Mexican half. 9 minutes gone in the second half on TalkSport. Neymar has come to the party on that far side. It's picked up again by Lozano, who loses out to Willian, who is full of running as he goes past Hector Herrera. Willian still going here, deep inside the Mexican half. Hector Herrera has a go on the second occasion, and this time he's pulled up by the referee, and the free kick is Brazil's, and Herrera goes into the book. And if they do qualify for the quarter-finals, he will miss the game.
Well, the game's opened up now as well. It's like it's just attack, all-out attack for both teams, and I don't think Mexico know any other way out to play, Adam, and it's going to make for a fantastic spectacle. Can they get a goal to get them back in, or will Brazil nick a second? The game's open, and when you've got, you know, athletes like Willian, who can run with the ball and travel 40-50 metres, you know, you've got a game that is going to certainly be entertaining.
Well, there's a change here for Mexico, and Alvarez, who's just been moved into that central area, has been replaced by one of the Dos Santos brothers, this one being Jonathan, 28-year-old from LA Galaxy. He enters the fray. Here's the free kick for Neymar, out wide from the right though, swung into the penalty area, nodded away comfortably out as far as Coutinho, and then Vela will try and get the better of Felipe Luis, but on this occasion the Atletico Madrid man does well. He finds Willian, Casemiro, edge of the penalty area, just gives that one back inside to Neymar, who's going to hit the shot, and he tried to get some dip and some movement on the ball, and it was always heading wide of the right-hand post of Ochoa.
And because Mexico is trying to get back in the game and they're committing people forward, that space now that he hasn't really seen a lot of in the competition, has he, Neymar? All of a sudden now he is getting 5 yards, 3 yards of space, and he's lethal with that. Certainly with the sharpness that he seems to have gained over the last 2 or 3 games.
Doesn't score too many from a couple of yards out. They're usually a little bit more spectacular.
What was great about that, though, Adam, is that he was the one that started that move up on the edge of the penalty area. He didn't just sit and watch it. The lovely back heel, and he just made himself available. And many people wouldn't have even been in that situation. He wanted to get in. He knew where the ball, or he anticipated where the ball was going to go. And it is a tap-in the end, but it was beautiful play.
The commitment from Willian with that burst of speed as well. We've seen him do it so many times.
He's at his best
for Chelsea.
Game. He's at his best game. That's the worrying thing for everybody left in the competition. These Brazil players have moved up 2 or 3 levels. Willian is at his best game. Neymar's looking sharp. Coutinho is at his moments, but possibly is being overshadowed by the other 2 at the moment.
It's been a much better World Cup this time round than Willian had in 2014 when he only started the 3rd place playoff, and that was that defeat last time out in that competition, of course, after they'd been beaten by Germany. I think they were really interested in the 3rd or 4th place playoff against Holland. That was Willian's only start 4 years ago, but again proving to be a real asset in Russia in 2018 for Brazil. Salcedo out wide to the right hand side. The half-time substitute Leyoun picks it up. Down this near side he finds Carlos Vela. Back to Leyoun again, who prefers to play on that left foot of his, but on this occasion he's playing in that right back position. And Mexico give possession away right at the edge of the Brazilian penalty area, and it's Neymar who brings it away. Willian has it, then just cuts inside that little burst of pace, and options here for Willian out wide on the right hand side with Wagner. But instead he goes back to Thiago Silva and Miranda. up to Coutinho on halfway, who's immediately engaged by Leon, and Vela picks up the loose ball. Coutinho tries to foul him, but Vela avoids that challenge, and Felipe Luis just steps across and wins the ball as he was heading towards that Brazilian penalty area. Mexico need to find a way to come back here. 13 minutes gone in the second half on TalkSport. Neymar, the goal scorer for Brazil. Now it's Felipe Luis with room to run forward here. No one really making a challenge, and he finds Neymar at the edge of the penalty area on the left-hand side. Neymar through the legs into the feet of Jesus. Back to Neymar again at the edge of the penalty area. Tries to turn and flick it back in. Didn't quite make it. Coutinho picks up the loose ball. Brazil coming forward, a wave of yellow shirts time and time again. Wagner down the right-hand side. Paulinho! Good save by Ochoa from 12 yards out. And Ochoa makes the stop. And then Salcedo volleys it clear. But they keep possession. Oh no, it's picked up by Mexico this time. And Dos Santos gets his first touch. And then there's a foul on the far side on Lozano. And that's going to be a yellow card. And it's shown to Casemiro. And he too will miss the quarter-final if Brazil qualify. His second yellow card of this World Cup.
Well, look, it's mesmerising. Some of the football that's being played here is as good as anything I've seen for a long time. They could have had a few goals. I think most of the shots that they've actually peppered the Mexican goal with have gone straight at the goalkeeper. But on another day they could have had 4 or 5, and they're doing well, Mexico, to still be in the game. It's coming up to an hour.
Well, it's undoubtedly the greatest World Cup of my lifetime. 186 was good. From memory, this is a bit better. Javier Hernandez has gone off, by the way. We've seen the introduction of the new Wolves striker, Raul Jimenez. And now through the middle, trying to break forward is Willian again. Big calls being made here by Osorio, with still half an hour to go in this game. Needs to find some way to get Mexico an equaliser. They trail. Neymar's goal in the 50th minute gives Brazil the lead by a 1-0. Wagner down the right-hand side. He's level with the edge of the 6-yard box. Gets the crossover, and it's chested down by Guardado, who has the support of Ayala, who clears from the edge of his penalty area up towards halfway. Picked up again, and Casemiro will now turn and try and go forward here for Brazil. Gives it to Neymar. He's got 2 green shirts around him, and immediately he's almost shoved down by Leon, but the referee was just a couple of yards away and just tells Neymar to get up. And now Jimenez lifts the ball over the top into the path this time of Lozano, who's got the ball at feet. Jimenez goes outside in Lozano with a shot, comes out to Vela at the edge of the box on his left foot, and it's tipped over by Allison. Great breakout play from Mexico, and Vela bringing a save from the keeper. Fairly straightforward as he tips it over the bar.
Well, they're always given a chance with Lozano's pace. One ball can get you in, and it nearly did then. Fellas, that's a good effort there. It's going under the bar. I think it was a comfortable save, wasn't it, for Allison in the...
Goal in it. Mexico with the corner on their right-hand side. Guardado to deliver on his left foot. Headed away by Casemiro from in front of that near post. He's going to be unhappy, I suspect, at missing out on a potential quarter-final. Leon delivers that one in, and Allison goes up and, under no pressure, takes it quite comfortably inside his 6-yard area.
I suppose, the one criticism, if you're going to make a criticism, Brazil, is that, they've only got the one goal to show for some beautiful football that they've played. Could have been a little bit more clinical, and certainly you would have thought at their best they could have had 3 goals, and then this game really is done and dusted. But 1-0 it never is.
Neymar, the hero of the hour so far for Brazil. They lead by a 0-0 on TalkSport. 1 foot in Kazan on the 6th of July, 7 o'clock in the evening. That game will kick off. 9 o'clock, of course, Russian time. They will play either Belgium or Japan, who meet in steaming hot Rostov a little later. Once we're done here, that's a 7 o'clock kickoff. And tomorrow afternoon, as Danny mentioned earlier, he'll be back at 1, building up to Sweden against Switzerland, followed from 5:30 in Moscow, the game between Colombia and England for a place in the last 8 of the World Cup. They're all live and they're all right here on Talk Sport. All 64 games throughout the tournament. Here's Willian on the right hand. Terrific effort with real power, and the keeper once more rescues Mexico.
I think this is his best save. I think it's hit really well by Willian. That's going top corner. That he gets a touch on it, deflects it over the bar. He's been unbelievable. He's been so direct, hasn't he, Willian? I think certainly by miles his best game, in the competition so far.
Here's Felipe Coutinho with possession on this near side, giving that one short to Neymar. Neymar then just trying to skip round and get past Guardado, but with the help of Hector Herrera, they steal the ball away for Mexico. Felipe Coutinho will just try and close that one down on this near side, and it's just run into touch off Coutinho, and will be a throw for Mexico, just short of halfway. Going to be taken by Carlos Vela here. Consider Mexico have made all 3 changes already. Were we to go to extra time, they would of course get a 4th substitute, but we're a long way from that right now. They trail by a goal to nil against a rampant Brazil. But as Alvin Martin has said, all the time there's 1 goal in it, this game is well and truly alive. Lozano on a run here towards the edge of the box. Lozano still going, edge of the D, he's brought down, is he? No, says the referee. The challenge from Casemiro immediately held his hands up, having already been booked in this game, to say I didn't touch him. They've kept it going though, Mexico, out wide on the right here with Carlos Vela towards the byline. He's closed down by Felipe Luis, gets it back on this near side, and here comes Guardado on his left foot. Lovely ball slipped inside. Lozano gets it across the face of goal, but it's way beyond the advancing Jimenez on that far side, and it will be a goal kick for Brazil as we reach the 20-minute point of this second half. Brazil leading by a goal to nil.
Well, good play by Mexico, it really was, and lovely little reverse ball that caused Brazil a problem there. I say, if there's one team you don't want to be chasing the game against, it's Brazil, isn't it? Every time you get forward, you lose it. The amount of firepower they've got going back the other way is frightening.
Looks like we may well see Marcelo shortly for Brazil. Went off, of course, early on against Serbia with that back spasm, but he's a real favourite of Chiche. Brought him back into the fold after he was roundly criticised and blamed for the 7-1 defeat at the hands of Germany 4 years ago. Dunga decided to cast him aside in favour of Felipe Luis, but as soon as Chiche appeared, he very much went back to Marcelo and what he has to offer this Brazilian side, and he'll be the first change for Brazil. And I think they're preparing him right now. Neymar down here has won the free kick, but he's up and about without the need for any treatment again.
Well, now he's skipping away from challenges that he was getting hit with, and he knows they're coming. He's just lifting his weight off the floor. That one he knew was coming, and he's got that extra tiny little bit of, I don't know, pace or he's thinking quicker. That match fitness that we were talking about, he's there now. You can only see him getting better at him.
Willian down that right hand side finds Casemiro. Well, that's a frightening thought for everyone else left in this World Cup.
And when he is like this, you can see he's got that little bit more than some of these good players around him, and there are some good players around him.
Here's Jesus down the line towards Willian, but can't pick it up. Out of play for a throw on the far side. He left Barcelona to try and escape that shadow of Messi, and with Messi and Ronaldo already gone, this is his stage to shine on, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's got a pretty good backup cast as well. Whoever's left in the competition, has got to be looking at this thinking, wow, that's a standard we've got to get to.
All of a sudden finishing second in the group and being in the other half doesn't look too bad, really, does it? Good luck, Belgium, if they get that far. Of course, that would be a blockbuster quarter-final if Belgium were to get the better of Japan later tonight. The superstars and the golden generation of Belgium against this Brazilian side. Here's Vela, squaring that ball in the centre of the park towards Dos Santos. I think he's only touched the ball once since he came on, and now Willian has it over halfway. Wonderful counter from Brazil. Willian skips away from a couple of challenges. Left hand edge of the penalty area. Willian onto his right foot, tees it up in the centre for Neymar, who gets the shot away, but it's deflected just to the right of Ochoa's post for a corner.
But it's like the old Brazil list, isn't it? You know, the last World Cup they were humiliated. This is like the Brazil that everybody wants to see turn up at a World Cup. The ones that have got flair, you know, charisma, you know, personality. You know, Neymar's, you know, he's the star in the team. But you know, you can see now wherever he gets the ball, it's very hard for anyone to get close to him.
Neymar gets it into the box and it's just over the top of Gabriel Jesus, and well, there's a player who needs a goal. It would certainly, I think, help his confidence. He's playing his part in this Brazilian side, but certainly to get himself on the score sheet at this World Cup would probably do him no harm at all.
I think he's only had the one shot, doesn't he, in first half? The keeper made a pretty standard save, but yeah, he looks like he's lacking a little bit of self-belief, doesn't he?
Wide on the right-hand side is Leon coming inside for Mexico. Onto that favoured left foot of his, gives it short to Hector Herrera. And now at the back it's picked up by Ayala on halfway. Inside the centre circle is Guardado coming forward. Guardado plays his football for Real Betis. Cap number, a very impressive 149 today for Mexico. And Guardado still only almost 32. Delightful ball down the right. Here's Hector Herrera. The ball's crossed him beautifully. Chance to shoot from the edge of the box. It's drilled with the left foot by Guardado, and it's blocked by Felipe Luis. And then Willian is fouled at the edge of the penalty area. Well, every time Mexico look like that, almost down and out in this game, a bit of magic comes around, and on this occasion it comes to nothing, and Willian looks like he's in some discomfort.
Well, you know, they have got pace in their side, Mexico, up front. You know, we keep talking about it. What perhaps they've lacked a little bit of is that final ball. When they get into areas, and we've seen it against Germany, they could have had 4 or 5 goals against Germany and didn't kill the game off. And you know, that's the one thing that they don't have, the finish on the end of some really penetrative football.
Well, Willian is up and about. I think Thiago Silva, who blocked that shot, just felt the sting of that effort from Guardado. 20 minutes remaining on TalkSport. Brazil 1, Mexico 0. The goal from Neymar in the 50th minute is what separates these two sides. A place in the quarter-finals at stake for Brazil. Well, that would be their 13th World Cup quarter-final, and number 7 in a row. The USA 3 times against Chile, Ghana, and also Belgium have been defeated by them.
Oh, what's going on here?
Last 6. Now, Neymar is down and rolling around in agony here on this near touchline. The referee is across. The whole of the bench, I think, is up as well.
It's Leon who's been involved in it. You know, the ball went off. It was right in the technical area, Brazil's technical area. And I don't know if he stamped on Neymar here, but certainly something happened. Yeah, he's put his foot on him.
Yeah.
He's put his foot on. Whether look, I can't see the amount of pressure that's been put on him, but Leon did put his boot on him. I don't think he stamped on him. Neymar has made a meal of that, in my opinion.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly. He sat down, had the ball between his legs, Leon went to come and get it, and Neymar is absolutely making the most of it. Studs, of course they hurt. There was no real pressure applied there by Leon. Now, this is...
That's a shame, Adam, isn't it? Yeah, I've marvelled at his skills today. Brazil have been absolutely fantastic. There's no need for Neymar to do that. There's no need for Brazil to do this. You know, go win the game. You know, you've been wonderful all afternoon, exhibited exactly what the game's all about, and that one moment for me has spoilt it. Neymar's better than that, surely.
Well, Gianluca Rocci, our referee, has had some guidance in his ear, whether that's from VAR or whether it's from any of his other officials who maybe had a better view of that. He's just waiting over Neymar and is obviously ordering players away from the 4th official on this near side as well. Now he's reaching into his pocket and he's happy for play to continue and taking no action. There is more instruction coming his way. We're getting another replay. Well, it's also a delayed reaction from Neymar as well from when the boot first touches him.
Okay, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't see a grown man doing that.
Well, we've seen the brilliance. We're also now seeing the ugly side of some of Neymar's football.
There has been an ensuing battle between those two. Leon has come on right back, it's a big task, isn't it, to look after Neymar, when he's in this sort of form. And there've been some little afters there, so it's not been a happy battle that's commenced, is it? And he has been second best, and he's up against a player that really is on top of his game now. It looks to be, but Neymar, I wish he hadn't done that. He spoiled this game for me.
17 minutes remaining. Brazil leading Mexico by 1-0. Neymar the goal scorer. What have Mexico got to offer in the final 17 minutes of this game? Out wide on the left-hand side, here comes Irving Lozano, coming onto that right foot of his again, just holds it up inside the penalty area, still going, looking for a decent option, which Guardado provides. Out wide on that left-hand side, it's lifted into the penalty area, Jimenez goes up to try and win it, can't quite get there, and it'll be Gabriel Jesus who's back doing all the defending, and he will bring it forward to Casemiro, and here come Brazil once more, with Willian out wide on that right-hand side, but they're happy just to take the sting out of the game now, midway inside their own half. And keeping the ball, which is no great surprise. They have 1 foot in the quarter-finals yet again. Here's Miranda inside his own penalty area. Now to the right-hand side, Wagner coming forward again. Gives it short to Willian, under pressure all the time from Jonathan Dos Santos. Willian then lays off to Casemiro, who's caught by Hector Herrera, who's already been booked and needs to be careful.
Well, this is a really important part of the game, I think. Brazil have been absolutely fantastic and should be 3-0 up. But when I look at the football they're playing at the moment, Jesus has
just got away beautifully here. Managed to get clear that time of Leon, and it's laid back to the edge of the penalty area again. Picked up by Casemiro, out wide on the right in acres of space is Willian. It's Willian he finds. Coutinho's gone outside him to the right. Willian, though, on his left foot, tries the shot straight at Ochoa, who goes down and makes the save.
But at 1-0, it's still a really delicate scoreline, isn't it, Adam? Brazil are now in a position where 15 minutes to go, they want to get the second goal, but they don't want to take any chances. So they will start to protect the 1-goal lead. They'll do that by maybe sitting slightly deeper, but not too deep, but keeping the ball. Ball retention now is the way they'll try and do it. Mexico will know that they're going to try and do that, but will take chances. They will throw people forward when they've got the ball, and it will force Brazil to play a little deeper.
Jimenez does well there, out wide on the left-hand side. He just tried to feed the ball into the feet of Lozano, who couldn't quite get there, but they do have a throw. Taken short, Dos Santos has it towards the edge of the penalty area. Herrera's there. Leon's out wide on this near side. Casemiro with a challenge, gets the better of Herrera. Both of those two booked in this game so far. Both of them would miss any quarter-final. And both at the moment going toe-to-toe in the middle of the park. Here's Dos Santos again, out wide to the left-hand side. Lozano, edge of the penalty area. Ball sipped in for Vela. Vela cuts that one back. It's headed away by Casemiro again. Dos Santos takes it up at the edge of the box, but then loses possession to Paulinho. Another foul. And once more it's Neymar that's down, the yellow card is out. It'll be a booking that time for Carlos Salcedo.
Definitely a booking, but it's the way he turned away from the challenge, his touch and his balance there, Neymar. He is sharp, he's very sharp. You can see his first touch is brilliant. The defender has to foul him.
He draws those fouls for sure. 13.5 minutes left here on TalkSport. What's been a footballing masterclass in the most part by Brazil. A frightening look at what they can achieve when they are firing on all cylinders, and that's if they're actually firing on all cylinders yet. It's been very impressive.
That's a frightening
Is there more to come?
Well, I'll tell you what we've got to say as well. It's only 1-0 to Brazil, and Mexico have shown guts to stay in this game. Rode their luck at times, but it's a gutsy performance by the Mexican side.
Some of the finishing has maybe left a little to be desired by Brazil. Many efforts straight at Ochoa, who's only really been forced into a couple of really decent stretching saves. The goal coming from wonderful build-up play by Neymar and Willian, and finished off by Neymar as well. And it's that goal that separates these two sides here on TalkSport with 13 minutes remaining. Belgium against Japan in Roasted Rostov coming up later. Ian Danter and Matt Holland and Adrian Durham will guide you through that one. As Coutinho picks up the loose ball here. Now charging forward Coutinho. He's fell by 2, but the referee says play on because actually they got the ball. And Coutinho was just part of that byproduct, and now Mexico have it with Herrera up towards halfway. He chips a long ball out wide to the left-hand side, where he's picked out Lozano beautifully. Lovely takedown. Lozano inside the box, gets to the byline, tries to cut it back, and wins inside the corner. Oh, it's been given as a goal kick.
That is brilliant defending. That's it, is brilliant defending, because at 1-0, if that isn't done perfectly as a defensive tactic, then you are in trouble. And he does absolutely brilliant here, Wagner. You know, against the quickest player in the Mexican side, stays on his feet, makes the challenge, doesn't just make the challenge, he's ended up winning himself a goal kick. Brilliant defending.
Only a 7th cap for Wagner in that famous Brazilian shirt today, but he's known quite well by Tite from that time together at Corinthians previously. He's relied on a lot of players that he's had dealings with in the past. Here's Neymar on a charge from inside the centre circle. Neymar still going, picks out Coutinho, 25 yards from goal. Coutinho onto his right foot, trying to make some space for a shot. Really good tackle at the edge of the penalty area by Hugo Ayala for Mexico. And they will now try to counter again down this left-hand side with Jonathan Dos Santos, who's striding forward into Brazilian territory. Again, that danger man on the far side, Irving Lozano, gets it in early this time, looking for Raul Jimenez, but couldn't find him. And it's into the arms of Alisson at the edge of his 6-yard box.
Well, can they find a cross, or can they find a delivery of sufficient quality, Mexico? You feel that you might get one chance before the end, but they've got to keep it at 1-0, and Brazil just as likely to nick another here, getting the ball into people like Neymar and Coutinho. You know, they've still got another goal in them here, Brazil, and if the opportunity shows itself, they will commit forward.
Well, here's the first change, and you'd call this maybe a slightly defensive one. Paulinho, who does like to get himself forward, he's going to be withdrawn, and Fernandinho will come on. 48th appearance for the Manchester City man. He's appeared in all 3 fixtures so far prior to today, and no surprise that Paulinho is taking his time to depart. But it's the form of he and Casemiro that's meant there's no place in this starting 11 for Fernandinho, who obviously had a terrific season for Manchester City, but can't get in the starting 11 for Brazil. 10 minutes remaining here on TalkSport. Is there late drama in this game? Surely, based on what's gone before in this World Cup in Russia, there will be drama to come of some description between now and the referee's final whistle. 10 minutes remaining. Brazil leading by a goal to nil. Game number 5 of the round of 16. We're over halfway, and we're on the home stretch to find the quarter-finalists in Russia. Here is Vela just stepping away from Fernandinho. He does really well to keep the ball out wide to Leun on this near side. Leun then just gives the ball to Hector Herrera, who's forced back inside his own half, under pressure, and he finds Ayala, who will use Salcedo, who snuffed out that last attack by Neymar, and the Frankfurt defender who broke his collarbone in March surprisingly made a very swift recovery to be available for this World Cup. Leun with the ball out wide to this right-hand side to Vela, but he's just overhit it, and it runs into touch for a goal kick to Brazil.
This is the difference now with Brazil, though, Adam. You know, they've got 2 banks of 4, and they are going to defend. They're going to be solid, not allow Mexico any space in between those 2 banks of 4, and this is where they pay a lot more attention now to killing the game off. Ball retention, I've mentioned, is a way they'll do it. Even looking at getting a second goal and killing it off, but they're much more defensively savvy now than they've ever been before.
1990 was the last time they failed to win a last 16 tie. That was against Argentina, and that's the last non-European side to beat Brazil at a tournament. Thiago Silva's gone down here as he was chasing that ball back. He's been fouled. Going to be a free kick to Brazil inside their own penalty area, and Silva may well need a little treatment here. The referee just over the top of him. I mean, this is the point where Brazil will take every moment they can.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with him, I'm sure. He's seeing the ball out. He's being put under pressure. There was a coming together, but I'm sure the centre half is more than capable of taking a knock to the side and getting up. But at this stage of the game, 82 minutes, killing the game off. It's another tactic, I suppose.
Well, he's only a yard or so from being off the pitch and behind the goal, and I think that's what the Italian referee's saying. Well, if he wants some treatment, he can go behind the goal and get that treatment. Roberto Firmino is preparing to come on for Brazil for the final 7 or so minutes, plus time to be added on. It was a side-by-side challenge, and must be a bit disappointing as a centre-half to see one go down like that.
Sometimes you can be wrong, you might have a broken rib, I don't know, but I would be very surprised, Adam.
Well, they're spraying water on his wrist and on his ribs, and but he will have to leave the field on the basis that he has received some treatment. So temporarily Brazil will be down to 10 men. What can Mexico do, Alvin, in this last 7 minutes?
They've done all they can. I think all they've got to do is just push people forward and play cat and mouse. The further you go forward, the further the defenders who you're up against have got to go back. But you need the ball. At the moment, Brazil don't look like they want to give the ball to Mexico.
Little flick on by Jesus on this near side, but it's straight into touch for a throw for Mexico, midway inside the Mexican half. And again, Carlos Salcedo will come forward. El Titan, they call him.
It's 4-5-1 now for Brazil, and you don't often see that, do you, with Brazil? But like, look, they're 1-0 up, and they could have been a few more. But the game is still finally. I'm sure if it was 2-0, we'd see a different Brazil here. But they're just going to do whatever they need to do now to get the result.
Ayala gets it out wide on that far side to Lozano, who's on the run again inside the penalty area. Throws down by Wagner, and then picked up at the edge of the box by Dos Santos. Back from Lozano again, just managing on that left-hand side to pick out Gallardo. And now here's Salcedo, and everyone's hemmed inside the Brazil half. In the middle of the park, it's Herrera, gets it back to Ayala. And that's good pressing this time by Brazil, because they forced Mexico back inside their own territory. Ajoy at the edge of his own penalty area will give it out wide to the left-hand side. Just over 5 minutes remaining on TalkSport. Brazil lead Mexico by 1-0 and are en route to the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Hector Herrera, edge of the penalty area. Jimenez goes down, no foul, says the referee. And they break away here, Brazil. Coutinho tried to turn, but it's picked up by Leon on this near side. And now Hector Herrera. Herrera out wide again. Leung tries to come forward on his right foot, swings the ball towards the back post, and Wagner with a defensive header, and it's out for a Mexican corner on the left.
Surely not, surely not. I mean, they should have been out of sight. Brazil played some fabulous football this afternoon, and at 1-0, I'm still not sure about going through it. All it's going to take is one delivery, one mistake somewhere. Making a change now. Coutinho has probably not been as good as Neymar. He has up to this point in the competition been their best player, but I think Willian and Neymar have been fantastic for Brazil today.
When you have that many superstars, as long as one or two shine, you invariably will get the result you require. Coutinho departs. Firmino is the player who comes on. He made such an impact against Costa Rica when it looked like they were going to be held to a 0-0. He made a big influence. He's got some defending to do here with 4 minutes remaining as it swings over towards Jimenez. It's just lifted goalwards on this near side, and Alisson has to touch it out of play. And it goes out for a corner. Another one to Mexico, this time on their right.
They don't have a lot of size. Anyone who really is good at attacking the ball, do they, Mexico? You know, and we talk about all the football ability that Brazil have got. They've got some big men in there, some big athletes.
In fact, he's given the free kick here for the foul inside the penalty area. So it's a chance for Brazil to release a little bit of this Mexican pressure with 3.5 minutes plus time to be added on at the end of this round of 16 time in Samara. And as things stand, it'll be, well, a hell of a Brazilian party tonight. Jesus on this near side, the free kick has been given, and some absolute fury on the touchline on this near side. Rage towards the assistant and the fourth official. 3 minutes left for Mexico to salvage their World Cup. Flicked on by Jesus towards Firmino. Just volleyed clear from the edge of the penalty area by Ayala. Up in the air on this near side to Miranda, who's under pressure from Jimenez. Back to Silva from the edge of his penalty area. He launches that into the Mexican half, and the header by Salcedo is closed down immediately by Firmino. And Gallardo will just go back once more to Achoya, away to our left-hand side, and the Mexican keeper will bring it clear down this right-hand side. Forward in towards the feet that time of Herrera, but it's easily picked up by Fernandinho, and then sets Neymar away inside the penalty area. Neymar with the outside of his foot, finished by Firmino. 2-0 to Brazil. Game, set and match to the Samba boys. The quarter-finals beckon once more. The favourites are in full flow. It's been brilliant Brazil at times. Spectacular football, and they finished off Mexico. It's Brazil 2, Mexico 0.
Well, they were running out of ideas. They didn't really have a clue how to break down Brazil, and once the ball broke, Fernandinho feeds it to Neymar. I don't know what they're doing, Mexico, with two players trying to play offside, but once he's through one-on-one, it's a really tight angle, but he knows what he's doing. He prods it towards the far corner.
Finally, with 2 minutes remaining, Brazil secure their place in the quarter-finals.
The stage, Mr. Neymar. One moment today that he won't be proud of, and I'm certainly not proud of him for acting, but he really has looked like a player now that's set to set this competition alight.
Mexico trying to find some consolation. We're into the final minute of the 90. And at the edge of the box, Fagner will clear and get it forward for Brazil. To Willian on that far side. The throw-in goes Mexico's way. It's taken quickly, but immediately they just give possession to Fagner, and he will launch it high up into the Samana sky, which is becoming more and more yellow by the minute. There'll be another change. There's 6 minutes of added time. Brazil will just close things down. We're looking at the introduction of Marquinhos, the PSG centre-half, is on this near side. The challenge on Lou, and he wants the free kick, but referee waves him away. We're into those 6 added minutes, and Willian will depart, and well, I suspect every Brazilian around the Samara Arena will be on their feet. Terrific performance from the Chelsea man.
Yeah, it's been wonderful this afternoon. There was a spell, I've got to say, early on in the game, when I thought that Lozano up against Luis, he might have had some joy. And while he did get behind him, I think he stuck to his guns, and he's in a very good team, Luis, isn't he? Eventually, when your team's got the ball and the quality that it's got, there's a good chance that you're going to win a game of football.
Free kick on halfway, which goes the way of Brazil once more. Plenty of arguing there from Guardado with the referee. He's got in the referee's book as well. Andres Guardado, who's captaining in the sides after the departure of Marquez. Throwing on this near side for Mexico. He's a man who's angry, that's for sure, as they try and get that consolation goal. 5th time in the World Cup against Brazil, yet to hit the back of the net, Mexico. And this time it was the effort from Lozano that was well wide of Alisson's goal. Wonderful breakaway on our monitors from Neymar for that goal. And Firmino in the right place at the right time for Brazil. It's diverted into his path by the outstretched foot of Guillermo Ochoa, who's been probably Mexico's best player. And he finds himself conceding twice.
We spoke a lot about it, Mexico coming into this, and I think 7 times they've gone out at this stage, but today they've given it a good go.
Oh, it's Firmino inside the penalty area, just flicked that over the top of Salcedo's head. Now he and León are going head-to-head on this near side, and Firmino thought he got the better of it for a moment there, but it's out of play for a goal kick to Mexico.
I mean, they haven't gone out of the competition because they've lacked bottle, have they, Mexico? They've had a real good go at Brazil. Certainly in the first 10 or 15 minutes with the better side. And it was Brazil who had to hang on. It seems a long time ago, that note, doesn't it? Because I think from midway in the first half, they've had total control of the game, I think, Brazil. And, the slight unhappiness on the performance can only be that they would have wanted to see more goals, and I think once they come up